بسم الله الذي بدينا ولو أبدا خيره شقينا حبنا رب وحب دينا اللهم صل على محمد كل ما ذكرت اللهم صل على محمد كل ما غفر عن ذكر الغافلين. We have completed our first night of Tarawih. We have decided this year, Allah has instructed me that this year inshallah we will be doing the Seerah, the biography of our beloved Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, instead of tafsir like last year, for two reasons. One is, if I give the Seerah again, and people like with the tongue will say that if you want to try to see after dani after date, klaar die gehoor, right? And but more importantly, to truly love someone, you have to know that person. It's very easy for us to say and flap our tongues, we love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And indeed, every Muslim throughout the world, every Muslim sitting here has some degree or the other of love for Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But in all honesty, when we do not know a person, that love is incomplete. But more we know someone, especially Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his perfect qualities, the story of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and is no longer a stranger to us. In that way, we can love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam even more, even with greater sincerity than what it is already. Generally, the historians who wrote the first biographies of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would also give a background of the situation of the world of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have to know a bit of geography and a bit of history in general to understand the biography of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. We know, of course, that the life story of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, essentially, with few moments of exception, takes place in the Arabian Peninsula. Almost the entirety of the Arabian Peninsula is inhabited at this stage by nomadic Arabs. There are very few towns and cities. Notable exceptions are, of course, the birthplace of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Makkah, and then of course we know Medina, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would make a hijrah to, and the other famous town of Taif. The most civilized part of Arabia was Yemen, which had civilization for many centuries before the coming of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They had their own kingdom. It was the only part of Arabia that was a united country, and in fact, Yemen is the origin of the Arabic language. Before the other Arabs spoke Arabic, it was only Yemen. Yemen is the origin of Arabic, and in that way of the Arabs as well. So that was the only kingdom that the Arabs had, and at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, shortly before the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Yemen had been conquered by Ethiopia from across the sea. And then in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Yemen was now again conquered by the Persian Empire, which brings us outside of the Arabian Peninsula, the two superpowers of the day. Just like today we have Russia and America, at that time also the world had two superpowers, and this plays a role also in the story of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was, the Arabs used to call it Rome and Persia. Rome is also called Byzantium in the English history, so we can just, for simplicity's sake, we'll call it the Roman Empire to the west. This was now the Middle East, Syria, Egypt, North Africa, parts of Italy, Greece. This was all the Roman Empire in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The western part had already been lost. France, England, Spain was no longer part of the Roman Empire. It was now separated into the west. And the other side was the Persian Empire. And the Roman Empire, they converted before the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were now Christians following the Orthodox Church. A few of the emperors did follow the Arian Church, which Saint Arius had preached, as we believe, that Isa alayhi salam is not a God and there is no Trinity, there is only one Allah. But in general, the Christians were now Trinitarians, worshipping 3 is 1 and 1 is 3. The Persian Empire on the other side, this composed of what we call today Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, parts of Central Asia, Uzbekistan, were also a massive empire, the Persian Empire. And unlike the Romans, who were Christians, the Persians were fire worshippers, Magians, Majus in Arabic. The Arabs themselves, in Medina, Medina was actually, we can go later in the story, was actually founded by people of Bani Israel, of the tribe of Banu Lawa. They had actually founded Medina. Medina was not founded as an Arab city. Started off as a Jewish city. So there were Jews in Medina, not only Jews of Bani Israel, like Banu Lawa of Medina, but some Arab tribes also were impressed with the religion of Musa alayhi salam, seeking the truth, and they also were Jewish. For example, Banu Mustalaq were Arabs in race, but Jew in religion. And then in Yemen, also there were mixtures. Also some Jewish tribes in Yemen, Arabs who were converted to Judaism, and Najran, these were Christians. But the majority of Arabia were idol worshippers. The Kaaba, which originally we understand it to be famously built by Ibrahim alayhi salam, but the Kaaba has been built and rebuilt several times. Originally by the angels, then by Adam alayhi salam, and then many peoples in between. As we know, Ibrahim alayhi salam rebuilt it again as the house of the one Allah, with his son Ismāʿīl alayhi salam. And Ismāʿīl alayhi salam would then of course become the forefather of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam.